Hi, I am Ashna Shukla from Section B. Today I'll be presenting on the topic Focus on Competition has always been a formula for mediocrity. So, in order to understand this, we try to understand in which all areas since childhood have we seen competition. So, we see that we tend to love competition. We bring up competition in almost all situations. We also create artificial contexts and situations through games and situation and simulations in which there is competition. So we understand that we faced competition in school, in academics, in games, also among siblings at home, in sports, war, and also in the context of business. Now, trying to dig deeper in the context of business and trying to draw a parallel, we see that whenever we talk about about a business, we think of it as a competition. So, business and competition are almost synonymous for us, and they tend to go hand in hand. Also, when we talk about marketplace, we think of it as a battlefield. We think of it as we are competing for all resources and market share. Also, when we talk about competitors, we see them always as opponents and not someone whose resources or skills can be leveraged on. So also when we compare each other on the basis of key performance indices, we use parameters such as market share, market growth, market penetration, which are very comparative in nature. What happens is because of competition it leads to clustering through because of which companies tend to think alike. So we always look at our competitors and try to mimic them or follow them, and by the market becomes commoditized, and thus a competition creates conformity, which leads to lifeless markets, leading to unprofitable businesses. So we are not actually probably thinking out of the box and adding radically different value to consumers over a period of time. So thus we similarly we see that we stop questioning, and we just follow the norm and follow the status quo, and don't actually cater to the changing needs of the consumers. So this leads us to think of business as just a competition, and we tend to think of it as a zero-sum game. We tend to only compete with our competitors at times and not collaborate with them. Whereas it can be a win-win situation in which we leverage each other's skills and reach a better result than while we would be competing with. So let us try to see what happens when we refuse to compete. So when we refuse to compete, we focus more on innovation and making understanding the changing consumer needs over a period of time, and thus innovating and keeping up with the changing consumer needs and adding radically different value to consumers. So, as an example, we can see Nokia did not want to um, have a radical change in its product, and it wanted to follow the status quo. Whereas at the same time, Apple came up with a radically different proposition for consumers, a very different and a very unique product for the consumers, and thus it was able to cater to the market needs at that time and gain market share over other competitors. So as we've seen a parallel between competition and business, where we see look at the marketplace as a battlefield, we see on the other end of the spectrum there is collaboration, where people work in teams, in communities, and leverage on each other's skills, and the number of interactions and group work and teamwork increases. So we also have one more benefit is the transactive memory systems, which is a mechanism through which groups collectively encode, store, and retrieve knowledge. So basically, this means that the collective intelligence is greater than individual intelligence. So not every person will be an expert in every field, But then if we are working in a team amongst people, we can leverage on each other's area of expertise and knowledge, and thus come up with a better result than we would have come up with if we were working individually. So we through this we understand that holistic growth can be brought about through collaboration and working in teams. This will also be faster than if we were working alone and in silos. Also, we see that there are many social organizations, especially which work through collaboration, and they are work and help us bring about a more equal society and bring about holistic growth. Thank you.